people in the chat know me, man. I am the leader of the Isaiah Joe Hive, and I still think it is a travesty that he was let go. And, here's what Daryl Morey had to say about it. And this is what frustrates me. And I think it points towards Doc Rivers. He says, quote, "We're not going to have playing time for everyone. So sometimes we're going to cut players who are very good players, and we're happy for those that go on to do great things." Morey said when asked about cutting Joe last fall, "There's a lot of factors that go into it, including the current contract or the goals of the season to win a title." So what that screams to me right there is that Daryl Morey doesn't have much say in who actually plays. There's not much communication, right? Because sometimes we have to cut good players. Isaiah Joe, he just admitted, is a good player. And it's actually a guy that could contribute. And you went into the season with an open roster spot instead of keeping this guy who could have potentially been another shooter. He could have been better than Korkmaz, for crying out loud. And you let him go for nothing. You let Bassey go for nothing. That's the issue. And you could have developed this guy. I mean, he's maybe one of the best later round picks you've had. Why?
Or you could have traded him, right? Was he eligible to be traded? What GM wants to admit that you cut a very good player? The fact that he even said those words is like self-demeaning. Like, who cuts a very good player? Doesn't try to get any value in return.
Yeah, and I don't like how he says, the goals of the season to win a title. I mean, Isaiah Joe definitely makes you a better team, better than having open airspace. You know what I mean? Or Korkmaz rotting on the bench. It's really not that hard to. So when people say, "Oh, why are Sixer fans so obsessed over Isaiah Joe?" We're not. We're just saying that you have a guy that could produce when your bench goes everybody, -9 in 2 minutes, and you maybe need a shot or two.
Yeah,
this is a guy that maybe could give you a shot or two. Like, it's really not that hard to see.
Him going on a couple streaks when getting minutes in OKC is a perfect example. Vincent, I saw your one comment that said Sam Cassell is in charge of developing players. Doc Rivers just doesn't play them. Playing the players is a major part of developing players. I mean, what can Sam Cassell do in a practice? Is there like some kind of surgery he can do to make this guy bet? Like, you have to put him on the court. That's part of developing the player. And then he goes to OKC, gets minutes, and look, he sets records for streaks of three-pointers made and all kinds of ridiculous stuff. So, yeah, you have to play the guy to develop him.
Yeah, there's absolutely no reason that these guys go to other teams and then start to produce. That's why if Thibault goes to another team, he'll be back, as an all-NBA defensive player. That's why if this guy goes somewhere, he's, Jaden Springer goes to another team, he'll probably be an all-star in a couple years. I mean, it's frustrating, man.
Yeah, and I think what gets lost in like the Sixers Twitter freaking out over Isaiah Joe and people pounding the table, we don't think Isaiah Joe is Michael Jordan, but what we do think is he's definitely better than Furkan Korkmaz, Daniel House, and guys playing rotation minutes on the Sixers team. And that is what's frustrating because also he showed flashes in the opportunities he got. Like last year or during the like COVID stretch when they were shorthanded, that Heat game, I specifically remember him launching up a bunch of threes. He in summer league like looked like he took it personally to add things to his game, played some ball handling role. Like every chance that he got, he kind of took advantage of, and he just really didn't have much to work with. So there also is like an interesting balance between the Daryl Morey and Doc Rivers thing. It should always be noted like Doc Rivers was hired here before Daryl Morey. So I do think it's a different kind of power structure than the general GM and coach, but it is weird that like it's just a kind of bizarre situation.